Hi everyone. Despite all the buzz and frenzy around it, Dhurandhar has crossed 1,000 crores globally and it's slowly inching its way towards becoming the biggest Bollywood hit of all time. Right now, only Pushpa 2 stands ahead of it, and honestly, it looks like Dhurandhar will overtake that record within a week and a half. So is the movie worth all the hype, or were there other reasons that played a part in making it such a huge success? The answer is both yes and yes. Without a shadow of doubt, this is one of the best Bollywood movies shot in recent times, and you absolutely need to check out my full review on the channel. I've dropped the link in the description box below and right here on the screen as well. The film definitely deserves all the accolades coming its way. But here's the thing, there were also some other external factors that gave it the extra push to reach where it is today. Today's video is all about discussing those factors. There are actually so many that I had to break it down into two videos because I just can't cover everything in one. So let's dive into the first part, which revolves around critics' comments. Now, I'm not going to name names here, but there's a certain section of critics who didn't like the film. And look, as much as I respect their viewpoint, there are multiple issues that I want to really address. Quite a few of them have labeled the movie as propaganda, which is honestly seems to be the critics' favorite words these days. And even though some films genuinely deserve that label, I'm honestly surprised this one is getting it, because it really doesn't. The film shows incidents from the Kandahar hijack all the way to 26/11 events that actually happened. We can't deny the fact that Pakistan and ISI played a huge role in this. Yes, the filmmaker has taken some cinematic liberties to highlight how the government at that time failed to act. And sure, it shows them in poor light. But facts don't change because of that. The movie is well researched, well thought out, brilliantly shot, superbly acted, and absolutely brilliantly directed. The action sequences feel fresh and don't rely on the usual VFX heavy tropes that we see in other spy films. Also, the fact that Rahman Daket, SP Chaudhry Aslam, Major Iqbal and Uzair Baloch actually existed in the meticulously researched Lyari town in Karachi shows you how much dedication the writing and direction team put into depicting an accurate nexus between gang lords, ISI and terrorist activities. The 3.5-hour runtime never feels long or stretched, and the character development feels organic rather than forced. But here's the problem. These critics still call it propaganda, which is honestly bewildering to me. I followed some of these critics for years, and while I won't name them, and as sad as this sounds, it's pretty evident that they bring their political viewpoints into reviews. This is extremely unfortunate because as a critic, you shouldn't be mixing your political stance with film criticism. There are terrific movie critics out there like Bharadwaj Rangan who absolutely knows how to keep those things separate and review films purely on their merits. Seeing this from a section of critics is heartbreaking, honestly. For them, every movie has to be reviewed through the lens of films like All That We Imagine as Light and Girls Will Be Girls is very difficult for me to understand. Why can't we appreciate both art house cinema and mainstream films at the same time? Does every single movie needs to be reviewed through some artistic, intellectual lens? Now, fortunately for this movie, all this controversy actually played a huge role because people flocked to theaters and naturally comparisons with the movie Animal started popping up. Now, this is debatable, but look, Animal is a movie I honestly didn't like because I feel Vanga has this tendency to glorify misogyny. Even though he's technically a solid director, he makes his films and frames specifically to titillate the audience. For example, and this is a perfect case, Ranbir's character has had a heart replacement surgery in the movie, but not a brain surgery, right? So why has he gone suddenly nuts and is walking around the garden completely naked with his gang firing bullets in the sky? It's a prime example of a director using shock value and titillation as tools to provoke reactions from the audience. Vanga has great ideas when it comes to framing, camera angles and detailing, which makes him a good technical director, but not necessarily a good storyteller or researcher. Also, the fact that his frames are filled with misogyny makes me wonder whether he could truly make a film about women or women empowerment. I highly doubt that. On the other hand, Dhar's movies are well researched, there's no trace of misogyny in them, and they're extremely well shot, making the difference between the two directors pretty stark. Look, Dhar and Vanga are both technically brilliant directors, but the real difference lies in the fact that Dhar is an effective storyteller who weaves narratives beautifully, which Vanga so far isn't. But here's where those critics have a major problem. If it's a pro-nationalistic film, they immediately start labeling it as chest-thumping, hyper-masculine, and obviously extremely violent. There are certain movies that that require violence to tell the story authentically. If you have read even a little bit about Lyari, you would know how violent those gangs were, or maybe still are. They used to behead people and literally play football with their heads. There are certain documentaries which are there around Lyari which you can find on YouTube, which speaks about the gang wars there. So honestly, I don't have a problem with violence when it's justified, which is exactly what the film does. But for this critics, if violence is shown in a Tarantino film, it's suddenly a masterpiece. But when it's shown in a nationalistic Hindi film, oh, then it's too much. This double standard is completely beyond me. Like, why is it so difficult to appreciate film like Homebound, which depicts different societal issues in India, along with something like Dhurandhar? Does every single movie need to showcase all the problems that exist in India? Now, despite me having some issues with this section of critics, it's also extremely unfortunate that they are being targeted and receiving threatening messages. Look, we can all have a difference of opinions, but we can't start threatening people just because our opinions don't align with theirs. This doesn't reflect well on our society as a whole and honestly reflects very poorly on us as individuals. I'm requesting everyone watching this to think about how we can encourage dialogue instead of sending threatening messages. And that is how we actually should build a more equitable society moving forward. So finally, the responsibility lies on both the sides here. As critics, let's be more responsible while reviewing movies and TV series, and let's check whether our political viewpoints are affecting the way we evaluate films or not. And as audience, let's stop resorting to extreme actions just because someone's viewpoint don't align with ours or our thought processes. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. In the next video, we'll discuss the other major aspects of the ongoing conversation around Dhurandhar. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.